Some paintings trigger a lot of questions, and in a Roman Osteria, a very theatrical painting from 1866 by Carl Bloch is one such painting that has intrigued many of us over time. I mean, just at first glance, I wonder why the girl is wearing a napkin on her head. And what about the girl next to her? What is she shy about? And why is the man looking so angry? And the cat is also not giving me very cheerful vibes. It feels like we are intruding on a lunch between some Italian friends and that they all three react in different ways to us staring at them. Let's dig a little bit deeper to understand this work better. Let's start with the napkin, which most of us would put on our lap. And if we look at her lap, it seems to me that she does indeed have a napkin on her lap, although it's not entirely clear if the large white cloth is somehow part of the tablecloth. Let's first make a couple of general observations. First of all, according to the title of the painting, in a Roman Osteria, the scene takes place in Italy and the food and drinks on the table support that. An osteria is a pretty affordable kind of restaurant, and most likely this scene is painted in Rome, where the artist stayed for 7 years. Second, the lady has clearly dressed up for the event with a long skirt, a red shirt with golden decorations, a lace shawl on top of it and matching jewelry, looking at her earrings, necklace and the rings on her finger. And third, the napkin on her head seems carefully pressed without any wrinkles. Instead of calling it a napkin, we will have to refer to it as a headscarf, as this was a common thing for Italian women to wear at that time. And based on my historical research, this kind of headscarf was mostly worn by married women, although it could also be worn by widows and by single ladies. But there would be subtle differences in how they would wear it based on the occasion and the wearer's preference. Look, for example, at this painting from 1827 by Dietrich Wilhelm Lindau, where we can see 4 women with this kind of headscarf. The lady seated on the right, the one dancing in the middle, the breastfeeding lady on the left and the elderly lady behind her. Let's be clear that there were a lot of different types of headscarves, especially in different regions of Italy in the 19th century. And this particular headscarf was popular in the Lazio region, of which Rome is the capital. You can see several 19th century paintings here, including this headscarf, most of them white, but occasionally another color. And you could still see them today in that region on people who dress themselves traditionally. The name of the headscarf is pennes, plural pennae, or a fazzolettone in Italian. So while it may look funny to us today, it was actually a pretty legit thing to wear for this lovely Italian lady, especially for ladies that came from the countryside. The only thing that is hard to see is how this headscarf stays in place, but I assume that they use some kind of bobby pins to attach it to their hair, just like how Jewish people wear their kippas. So what about the other younger girl, apparently not married, and the man? Is the girl a bit shy or even flirting with the new arrival? Maybe both girls notice a handsome young man approaching their table, one of them married and just amused by it, while the other one is single and gets a bit nervous. Another way to interpret it is that she is flirting with the painter, or with us, the viewer, which I think is one of the reasons that this painting is so popular. The painting allows each of us to interpret their expressions in our own way, and I'm curious to hear in the comment section down below whether you agree with some of my interpretations in this video, or whether you may have a completely different take on it, no matter whether that may be a realistic one or a funny one. Turning to the guy, why is he looking so angry or annoyed? Is he perhaps interested in the girl, but is she maybe more interested in the new arrival? Or is he the husband of the girl with the headscarf, and the other girl is his sister, and he just doesn't like the new flirt she is interested in? Notice also the knife in his pocket, and even the strong way he grips his fork, you can feel his angriness. It reminds me of the meme, "Take a picture, it will last longer." A sarcastic moment to someone who is staring extensively at you. And then there's the cat, seated next to a fan of the lady next to her. The cat seems to be seriously judging us, and he or she does not seem to favor the person arriving. And the cat must be pretty serious, because when I look at some of the details in this painting, I get the feeling that the cat could also be interested in some other creatures that are present. You can see a fly and a bee at the top of the carafe of wine. And on the tablecloth, there are 4 more little friends feasting on some spilled sweetness. Carl Bloch painted this work on a commission from his very wealthy friend and major supporter Moritz Melchior, a Danish Jewish businessman whom we can see seated in the background of this painting. He is actually the man at the center, and you can see a portrait of him on the insert here. He just loved to have a more exotic picture than what he experienced in his regular life in Denmark, and the artist Carl Bloch liked the variation of painting this, as he usually painted more plain images. The person on the left, with its back towards us, is the artist Carl Bloch himself. The man on the right is a mutual friend of them, the Danish painter Frederik Christian Lund, who specialized in historical and genre paintings, and you can compare his portrait with the inserted photograph of him here. Other sources have not confirmed his identity, but the resemblance is pretty clear to me. They actually met for dinner many times at Melchior's home, and here's a photograph with the daughter of the commissioner showing how the painting hangs on the wall of their large home, so that the gentlemen could see themselves while having dinner. So, Moritz Melchior commissioned this painting from Bloch as a memory for a trip he had made to Italy, and he was inspired by this painting, created 19 years earlier in 1847, by another Danish artist, Wilhelm Marstrand, who was actually the teacher of Carl Bloch. You can see a lot of parallels between both works. This time, there are 3 finely dressed ladies, 2 of whom seem to openly welcome a person outside the frame approaching their table. One is raising her glass, while the lady on the right is picking up her scarf and making a hand gesture to the person to join them on the seat next to her. And whereas Bloch included a cat in his painting, Marstrand included a black dog that we can see seated under the table. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please support the channel by hitting the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to be alerted when new videos on this channel are released.